Hey everybody, it's Stacy personally speaking. Just doing a quick video, hopefully. I thought about going live, but doesn't really matter. I'm here just to answer a question which I believe everybody should really give thought to when they are thinking about buying a house. I like to equate this idea of buying a house. It's really probably a bad one, but think of buying a house like taking care of somebody who is sick, and not so much like preparing for a funeral. What do I mean by that? When you're preparing for a funeral, it's like a one-off thing, You have a very fixed and set price that you're working towards, and once you have finished that, you are done. You have no more expenses to deal with, unless the person was in debt when they died and the debt falls on you. But outside of that, on the other hand, when you have a sick person dealing with, the expenses can just be going and going and, seem almost unending. That is what buying a house is like. Now, what led me to this is a question from one of my YouTube subscribers. Well, I'm not sure to be honest, I don't know who is subscribed or not. So thank you for those who are subscribed. Thank you for those who have commented and asked questions and so on. But thank you for just being a part of this community with me. So the person asked, how much percentage of the value of the house do you recommend saving? From my own research, I saw where the recommendation was 20%. And so that is also my recommendation from my experience. But this 20% is just the beginning of the journey that you're going on, right? So you have to be mindful to think of it as, not as the goal. It is one goal in a series of goals, right? But the journey really is a lengthy one, unless you're buying the house cash, right? So you start with 20%, and that is just to get your foot into the door, because there are going to be recurring expenses every month, every year. And I say that because last week I got a notification from my mortgage provider that, yeah, it's that time of year for the house insurance. And I'm like, wait, I don't have the house for 1 year yet. I literally got the house in October, but I'm already looking to be paying $130,000 to cover the insurance of the house for 2023 to 2024. Yes, so based on the letter, they actually paid this upfront for me, and they are going to be recouping the costs from me. And what they wanted to do was to add it to my mortgage, my monthly mortgage. So my mortgage would have increased by about $5,000 every month. And it would also be including interest, right? This is going to be a little bit of a ramble. So in the letter or notification that they sent me, they told me the total amount for the insurance, which, as I said, was 130,000 Jamaican dollars. But they didn't tell me what duration or how much interest I was paying for if I had agreed to pay them back in installments. They only just did a recalculation and said, hey, your new mortgage is going to be 105,000 something. I'm like, okay, how much is the interest and how long am I paying this for? Because when I did the math, if I was only paying it for 1 year, if I was only paying that 130,000 something back in the space of a year, I would have had to be paying a lot more. I'd have to be paying like 10,000 or something per month. But they had only added 5,000 or something per month, which means that this 5,000 and something extra on my mortgage was to be paid over I don't know how long, because they didn't state it. They also didn't state how much the interest was. And so this cost kind of hit me because, you know, I'm planning to go back to Jamaica. And so I've already bought 2 of my 3 plane tickets. And now this amount, which I don't want to be paying with any interest, has come at this time, you know. So saying all that to say, saving 20% for the value of your house is just the beginning. It's just the beginning. You have to think about the maintenance, you know, the monthly expenses. And I'm not even talking about any kind of overhead or utility expenses. I'm talking about just the house itself, the kind of insurance. The community might have a maintenance program set up, you know, just those things that will be incurred. Now, just to back up a little bit, I should have said this at the beginning, but how much percentage of the value of the house do I recommend saving depends on the value of the house that you are looking for. So first, you have to establish what value you are looking for. What price are you willing to pay? Right? And you might say, hey, I'm willing to pay $20 million for a house. But then you also need to know, is there any financial institution willing to lend you $20 million based on your current income and expenditure? So that's where the pre-qualification letter comes in. You have to get that for your own peace of mind, to know and be confident of what house value you're looking at. So I had done it, and I knew that the value of the house that I could afford based on my situation would have been about 14 million. And that was the value. That was the amount for the house. In fact, I had to pay more because of escalation, you know. So you might have that vision of, oh yes, 20%, but then escalation happens, wars happen, COVID happens, things happen that influence the value of building materials, shipping, and all of that. So don't just go for the bare minimum of 20%, you know. But that should be the basic of what you save, right? So determine the value of the house that you would like, the area you would like, which institution is going to be willing to lend you that money. You need to know physically who is going to lend you that money based on your income and expenses. All right. So thank you for that question. I hope this was useful. If you have any other questions, please just drop them below, and I'll try to work on making better, more targeted videos concerning housing once I leave Japan and kind of settle down. All right. Thank you so much for staying with me on this journey. Bye for now. God bless you all. Stacy, personally speaking.